Principles of Marketing by Philip Kotler, Gary Armstrong, John Saunders, and Veronica Wong. Have you ever stopped to wonder what makes you pick one pair of sneakers over another? Maybe it's the design that caught your eye, or the comfort when you tried them on. Could be the price fit your budget perfectly. Or maybe, just maybe, it's something you can't quite put your finger on. There's this fascinating story about a company that started out selling running shoes from the trunk of a car. Fast forward to today, and its logo is more recognizable worldwide than the Christian cross. That symbol, just a simple swoosh, represents the wing of Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. And when you spot that swoosh on the feet of legends like Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods, you're not just looking at footwear, you're seeing dedication. Rebellion against the ordinary, the relentless pursuit of what seems impossible. Nike isn't in the shoe business. They're in the business of selling an idea, an attitude, a complete way of life. So how did they pull that off? How does a basic piece of athletic equipment transform into a worldwide symbol for passion, grit, and triumph? The answer is this invisible force that surrounds us constantly, quietly shaping our choices, our desires, even our dreams. That force is marketing. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this incredible force. We're diving into what many consider the Bible of marketing, Principles of Marketing, written by Philip Kotler, widely regarded as the father of modern marketing himself. This book has been the secret weapon for generations of leaders at the world's most successful companies, from Nike to Coca-Cola to Apple. Here's my promise to you, by the time we're done here, you'll see the world through different eyes. You'll start recognizing the hidden architecture behind the choices you make every single day. That commercial on TV? You'll see the story being crafted, the promise being whispered. That product on the shelf? You'll recognize it as a carefully designed solution to a very human need. This isn't just about business, folks. This is about understanding what makes people tick. So settle in, and let's start this journey together. Think back to the last time you had a brilliant idea. I mean, a really good one. Maybe it was for a story, a product, or a completely new way of doing something that you just knew could make a difference. Now here's the million-dollar question. Why do some ideas spread like wildfire across the globe, while others, equally brilliant, just sort of fizzle out before they even get started? Here's the thing. The difference isn't always about how good the idea is. More often than not, it's about how that idea connects with people. And that connection, that bridge between an idea and the person who desperately needs it, that's the beating heart of marketing. Most folks think marketing is just selling and advertising. Can't really blame them. We're bombarded every single day with commercials, billboards, and endless sales pitches. But here's the truth. Selling and advertising are just the tip of the iceberg. Real marketing, the kind that builds empires and genuinely changes the world, isn't about pushing a sale. It's about creating value. Peter Drucker, this legendary management thinker, once said something brilliant. The aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous. In other words, know and understand your customer so deeply that the product or service naturally fits them perfectly and basically sells itself. So where does this whole journey of creating value actually begin? Not in a factory, not in some corporate boardroom. It starts with the most fundamental force driving human existence: need. The foundation, understanding people. At the core of everything we do, every single choice we make, there's a human need. A need is simply that feeling of lacking something essential. We have physical needs like food, warmth, and safety, social needs for belonging and affection, and individual needs for knowledge and expressing who we are. Here's the kicker. Marketers don't create these needs. They're already baked into our DNA, woven into the very fabric of what it means to be human. Now this is where it gets really interesting. While our needs are relatively few and fundamental, our wants, practically unlimited. A want is how a need expresses itself, shaped by our culture and our unique personality. Someone hungry in Paris might crave a buttery croissant with café au lait. Someone hungry in Tokyo might dream of a steaming bowl of ramen. Same need. Hunger. Completely different wants based on the specific thing that will satisfy it. As we're exposed to more and more options that spark our interest, our wants keep expanding. But here's the catch. Our resources, our time, our money, they're limited. This is where demands enter the picture. A want transforms into a demand when you've got the buying power to back it up. You might want a Ferrari, but you demand a Honda Civic, because that's what your wallet allows. We look at products as bundles of benefits and choose the one that gives us the best value for our money. The most successful companies on the planet? They're obsessed with understanding the needs, wants, and demands of their customers. They listen intently. They observe carefully. They research not just to hear what people say, but to understand what they truly feel. They know that everything, every product, every message, every strategy flows from this deep understanding. The arena, the marketing environment. Once a company really gets people's needs, it has to operate in this complex, constantly shifting world. Marketing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in this dynamic arena, packed with other players and forces. This is the marketing environment, and it's got two layers, a small, immediate world and a much bigger one. The microenvironment is made up of forces close to the company that affect how it serves customers. Think of it as the immediate neighborhood. It includes the company itself, every single department, from finance to manufacturing to research and development, needs to think about the customer. A brilliant marketing plan means absolutely nothing if the factory can't produce a quality product or finance won't approve the ad campaign budget. Suppliers. These are your partners providing the raw materials and resources needed to create your product. One delay from a supplier can mean empty shelves, and empty shelves can mean losing a customer forever. Marketing intermediaries. These partners help you promote, sell, and distribute your goods. We're talking resellers like Target or Best Buy, distribution companies, and marketing agencies. When they succeed, you succeed. Customers, obviously, at the center of everything are the customers themselves. Companies might sell to consumer markets, business markets, government markets, or international markets, and each one plays by different rules. Competitors, the marketing concept, says that to succeed, you've got to provide greater customer value than your competitors. You're never acting in isolation. For every move you make, there's a competitor plotting their countermove. Publics. Any group that has an interest in or impact on your company is part of this environment. Financial institutions like banks, media outlets, the general public. A positive news story can pack more punch than any paid advertisement. Beyond this immediate world lies the macro environment. These are the massive societal forces affecting the entire microenvironment. These are the big currents you need to navigate. They include demographic forces, the study of human populations, things like age, gender, location, density, and race. Think about the enormous impact of the baby boomer generation or the rise of single-person households. Every demographic shift creates fresh needs and new opportunities. Economic forces, factors that affect how much purchasing power people have. During a recession, people hunt for more for less. In boom times, they might chase luxury and status. Natural forces, this one's huge today. It's about the natural resources needed as inputs and the environmental impact of what you're doing. Resource shortages, rising energy costs, the push for sustainable practices, all of this shapes the products companies make and the stories they tell. Technological forces, probably the most dramatic force reshaping our world. Technology gave us everything from antibiotics to the internet. For marketers, it's created amazing new ways to understand customers and create value. But it also means products become outdated faster than ever. Yesterday's miracle is tomorrow's museum piece. Political forces, laws, government agencies, pressure groups that influence and limit what organizations can do. Regulations on product safety, truth in advertising, Environmental protection, these all define the rules of the game. Cultural forces, this is the foundation. Culture consists of the institutions and forces shaping our core values, perceptions, and behaviors. People grow up in particular societies that mold how they see themselves, others, and the world. These fundamental beliefs are hard to shift, but cultural movements, like the trend toward healthier lifestyles or greater environmental awareness, create massive opportunities for those paying attention. A smart marketer doesn't see these forces as threats. They see them as a river. You can't fight the current, but you can learn to navigate skillfully, using the flow to reach your destination faster and more efficiently than those fighting against it. The strategy: finding your people and your place. Alright, so you understand people's needs, and you understand the environment you're working in. Now what? Here's the reality. You can't be everything to everyone. Try that, and you'll end up being nothing special to anyone. This is where the real strategy of marketing kicks in. It's a three-step process, so fundamental that it's at the heart of every great marketing success story: segmentation, targeting, and positioning. 1. Market segmentation. First, you divide the market into smaller groups of buyers who have distinct needs, characteristics, or behaviors, and might need separate products or marketing approaches. Picture it like this. The entire world of potential customers is this giant, incredibly diverse crowd. Segmentation is how you find the different tribes within that crowd. You can slice up a market in several ways. Geographic segmentation, dividing by nations, regions, states, even neighborhoods. A company selling winter coats will crush it in Aspen, but struggle in Miami. Demographic segmentation, dividing based on things like age, gender, family size, income, occupation, education. This is the most popular approach, for good reason. These factors often link closely to our needs, and they're easy to measure. Lego, for instance, masters age segmentation with its Duplo line for toddlers and complex Technic sets for older kids. Psychographic segmentation, dividing buyers based on social class, lifestyle, or personality. People in the same demographic can have wildly different lifestyles. One person's a homebody, another's an adventurer, one's back to basics, another's a trendsetter. Honda brilliantly marketed its scooters, not just to a young age group, but to a personality type, the rebellious, independent spirit living inside all of us. Behavioral segmentation, dividing buyers based on their knowledge, attitude, uses, or responses to a product, often the best starting point. Are they buying for a special occasion, looking for a specific benefit like economy or performance, first-time user or loyal regular? The goal is finding the way to slice up the market that makes the most sense for your product and goals. 2. Market targeting. Once you've identified different segments, you need to decide which ones to pursue. This is market targeting. You evaluate each segment's attractiveness, its size, growth potential, competition level, and select the segment you can serve best. Companies can choose from 3 market coverage strategies: undifferentiated marketing, ignore segment differences, and go after the whole market with one offer. Think Henry Ford and the Model T. This works when consumers are basically all the same, but in today's diverse world, it's really tough. Try being for everyone, and you risk being special to no one. Differentiated marketing. Target several market segments and design separate offers for each. Procter & Gamble does this with laundry detergent. They've got Tide for all-purpose family cleaning, Cheer for keeping colors bright, and Ivory Snow for gentle baby clothes cleaning. By doing this, they capture way more total market share than any single brand could. Concentrated marketing. Instead of chasing a small share of a large market, go after a large share of one or a few smaller segments or niches. This is powerful for smaller companies with limited resources. They can find a corner of the market that bigger competitors have overlooked and serve it so well they become the dominant player in that niche. Ferrari's the classic example. It serves a tiny niche of car buyers but serves them so incredibly well that they happily pay premium prices. 3. Market positioning. Once you've decided which segments to enter, you must figure out what position you want to occupy in those segments. A product's position is the place it occupies in consumers' minds relative to competing products. It's the complex set of perceptions, impressions, and feelings consumers have about your product. Marketers don't leave product positions to chance. They plan positions that give products the greatest advantage. This is the art of market positioning. Volvo positioned its cars on safety, Mercedes positioned on luxury. Porsche and BMW positioned on performance. These aren't just catchy slogans. They're the central idea around which every part of the marketing mix is built. To build a profitable position, first identify your competitive advantage, the edge you have over competitors, by offering consumers greater value. This could be through lower prices, or providing more benefits that justify higher prices. But positions can't be built on empty promises. If you position your product as offering the best quality and service, you absolutely must deliver the best quality and service. The entire marketing effort aims at creating and communicating a clear, distinctive, and desirable place in the consumer's mind. That's the ultimate goal of your strategy. The toolkit, the marketing mix. You've done the deep thinking. You understand your customer, the environment, and you've got a clear strategy for who you'll serve and the unique place you want in their minds. Now, how do you actually make it happen? This is where you open the toolkit. The marketing mix is the set of controllable, tactical marketing tools the firm blends together to produce the response it wants in the target market. It's everything a firm can do to influence demand for its product. These tools fall into 4 groups, famously known as the 4 petaseconds: product, price, place, and promotion. 1. Product. The product is the goods and service combination you're offering to the target market. But a product's way more than just a physical object. It's a solution to a problem. Marketers think about products on 3 levels. The core product, the most basic level. Not the physical thing, but the core problem-solving benefit the customer's really buying. You don't buy a drill bit, you buy a 1/4-inch hole. You don't buy lipstick, you buy hope. The actual product, the physical product itself, its features, design, quality level, brand name, and packaging. The augmented product, the actual product plus additional services and benefits like warranties, customer service, and delivery. Branding is a key piece of product strategy. A brand is a name, term, sign, or symbol that identifies who made a product and differentiates it from competitors. But a brand's more than just a name. A powerful brand like Coca-Cola or Mercedes carries deep meanings, associations, and a promise of quality. 2. Price. Price is what customers pay to get the product. It's the only marketing mix element that produces revenue. Everything else represents costs. Setting the right price is one of the trickiest tasks. Too high scares away buyers. Too low signals poor quality and leaves money on the table. Companies must consider production costs, competitor prices, and most importantly, the customer's perception of the product's value. 3. Place. Place includes company activities that make the product available to target consumers. This is about distribution channels. Where do your customers shop? How can you get your product on those shelves? Do you sell directly to consumers, through wholesalers, through retailers? The goal is making it as easy as possible for your target customer to find and buy your product. 4. Promotion. Promotion means activities that communicate the product's merits and persuade target customers to buy. This includes advertising, any paid form of non-personal presentation of ideas, goods, or services. Personal selling, personal presentation by your sales force to make sales and build customer relationships. Sales promotion, short-term incentives to encourage purchase, like coupons or contests. Public relations, building good relations with various publics by obtaining favorable, unpaid publicity. An effective marketing program blends all these marketing mix elements into a coordinated plan that delivers on your positioning strategy. And while marketers think in 4 petaseconds, remember customers see them differently. They see 4 C's. Product becomes customer solution. Price becomes customer cost. Place becomes convenience. promotion becomes communication. Winning companies start with the customer's point of view and use marketing mix tools to deliver a solution that's valuable, affordable, convenient, and clearly communicated. The goal: building lasting relationships. In the end, all this work, understanding needs, navigating the environment, crafting strategy, using the marketing mix, isn't about a single transaction. It's not about just making one sale. The ultimate goal of modern marketing is building profitable, long-term relationships with customers. Why? Because in today's competitive landscape, attracting a new customer costs 5 times more than keeping a current customer satisfied. Losing a customer doesn't just mean losing one sale. It means losing the entire stream of purchases that customer would make over their lifetime, what's called their customer lifetime value. A loyal customer buys repeatedly, pays less attention to competing brands, and talks positively about your product to others. How do you build these relationships? By consistently delivering superior customer value and satisfaction. Customer value is the customer's assessment of the product's overall capacity to satisfy their needs. Customer satisfaction is how well a product's perceived performance matches buyer expectations. If it falls short, the customer's dissatisfied. If it meets expectations, they're satisfied. If it exceeds expectations, they're delighted. And delighted customers become loyal customers. This is the essence of total quality management, which has become a major business driving force. It's not just about reducing factory defects. It's about total company commitment to delivering value and satisfaction at every step, from first contact with a salesperson to after-sales service. This is the marketing journey. It begins with deep, humble respect for another human being's needs. It moves through careful understanding of the world we live in. It requires clear, focused strategy. It demands skillful use of powerful tools. And its ultimate destination isn't a sale, but a relationship. A relationship built on trust, on value, and on consistently keeping promises. That's the secret behind every great and enduring brand. So we've walked through the grand architecture of marketing, from understanding the deepest human needs to the tactics of building global brands. What does this all mean for you, navigating a world that seems constantly trying to sell you something? I think the most powerful lesson here is that marketing, at its best, isn't about deception or manipulation. It's about empathy. It's about the discipline of seeing the world from someone else's perspective and then dedicating yourself to creating something that genuinely improves their life. It's about creating value. These principles aren't just for multinational corporations. They're principles for life. When you apply for college or a job, you're marketing yourself. You're a product. You need to understand the customer's needs, the admissions officers or hiring managers. You need to understand your competitors, and you need to position yourself by communicating the unique value you bring. When you want to rally support for a cause you believe in, you're marketing an idea. You need to understand your target market, the people most likely to care about your cause. You need to craft a message that resonates with their values. And you need to choose the right channels to deliver that message. This book teaches you to be a more discerning consumer of information and products. It gives you tools to look behind an advertisement's curtain and see the strategy at play. It empowers you to understand the forces trying to influence you, which is the first step in making truly independent choices. So how can you start applying these ideas today? Here are a few simple actions. 1. Become an observer of value. Next time you're in a store, pick up 2 competing products. Could be anything, 2 cereal brands, 2 different sodas. Look at them closely. Don't just check the price. Ask yourself, who is this for? What core need are they trying to meet? What story is the packaging telling? What promise is the brand making? You'll start seeing hidden strategies everywhere. 2. Practice empathy in your own projects. Think about a project you're working on, a school assignment, a club you're part of, anything. Before starting, stop and ask, who's my customer? Who am I trying to serve or persuade? What do they truly need? what would success look like from their perspective. This simple shift from "what do I want to say" to "what do they need to hear" is the foundation of great communication and great marketing. 3. Find the story. Every successful brand has a story. Nike's story is about victory. Apple's story is about creativity and challenging the status quo. What's your story? What core values define you? Understanding your own brand is one of the most powerful steps you can take in shaping your future. We've journeyed through the highlights of this incredible book today, but here's the truth: a summary can only ever be a map. The real magic happens when you explore the territory yourself. It's in those quiet moments when a particular story or simple phrase from the author hits you in an unexpected way. This podcast is designed to be your guide, helping you decide if this book deserves your time and attention. If anything we've talked about today sparked a question or moment of curiosity, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning business. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself and the world around you. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach more curious minds like yours and ensures you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep learning and growing together.